In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to trade the Asian session range during Asian session. All right. So most of my videos or all of my videos, you're going to see that I always say do not trade Asian session, right? Don't trade the Asian session. The Asian session is mostly for consolidation and you're not going to get you're not going to get volatility during the Asian session. Now, there is an exception to that, right? It doesn't always, that rule doesn't apply to every market. There are some markets that if you don't trade the Asian session, you're most likely not going to see any movements or you're not going to catch any trades, right? So I'm going to be explaining that in this video. I'm going to show you how to trade the Asian session range during the Asian session, how to trade inside the box of the Asian session. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Dan FX. I create videos like this teaching you guys how to trade. My trading strategy, it's similar to SMC, but it's not SMC, it's called BTMM. So do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this and more trade breakdowns like this. So let's dive into it real quick. And as you guys are watching this video, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them, or maybe do a video concerning it. All right, so Asian session range strategy, how are we going to be trading this? Now, first of all, the number one thing that you need to note when trying to trade the Asian session is you need to trade currency pairs that move during that session. Now, we have different currency pairs, right? If you look at my list here, you can see a bunch of currency pairs. So we have so many currency pairs. Now, how do you decide which currency pair to trade? Now, when it comes to trading the Asian session, you have to choose the currency pairs that move during the Asian session because each currency pair has its own session to trade. Now, if you're looking at pairs like GBP, any pair that has a GBP in it is gonna most likely move during London session because this is Europe. So this is a London pair. If you have if you have another pair like that has a euro on it, then you can most likely expect it to move during London session. And if you have something that has CHF on it, you can expect it to move during London session. Now, these are the London currencies. These are the currencies that move during London session. Now we know that what we trade here in Forex is not just currencies, we trade currency pairs. So they're basically two currencies joined together, right? So if you have something that has USD in it, you can most likely expect this USD to move during New York session. If you have something that has CAD in it, you can expect it to move during US session, that's during New York session. All right. So anything that has GBP, Euro, and CHF in it is going to move during the London session. Anything that has USD and CAD in it is going to move during New York session. Now we trade currency pairs, so a combination of this, that means the most active sessions to trade this pair, GBP, USD, would be to trade London session and the New York session. If you have something like this, that means the most volatile time would be London session and New York session. If they don't move during London session, you can most likely expect them to move during New York session. If they don't move during New York session, you can expect them to move during London session. All right. So this is how currency pairs work. So now when trading London session and New York session, then you have to trade pairs that have GBP and USD or Euro and CAD. One of them, right? So it can be GBP CAD, GBP CHF, GBP USD, GBP JPY, and this could be USD CAD, USD CHF, USD JPY, all those currency pairs. All right. So if a currency pair moves during London session and New York session, then there's a high probability that it's not going to move during Asian session. Now, what I learned from BTMM, which is the strategy I trade, which is market manipulation, is that market makers can't move all the currency pairs at once. So what they do is they hold one pair sideways while they move the other pairs, right? So they usually use the majors, which is the pairs that has USD in them, to control the other pairs, which is the cross pairs. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you have something like GBP USD, let me use my text. So let's say we have GBP slash USD, all right, and then we have Euro slash USD, and we have USD slash CAD. So we have these three currency pairs. These are majors. Anything that has a USD on it is called a major currency, right? Anything that does not have USD on it is called crosses. Now, from the majors, that's how you get the crosses, right? From the majors, you get the crosses. How does that work? For example, let's say we have Euro USD. This is why they call them crosses. Euro USD against USD CAD. Against USD CAD. What will it give you? Now, take out the most common denominator, or what do they call that in math? The most common denominator or something like that. Or just basically cross out the USD, right? What do you have? When you cross out the USD, you have Euro CAD, right? You have Euro CAD. So basically, that means if you're gonna look at Euro CAD, if you're going to be analyzing this pair or looking to trade this pair, that means you also have to look at USD CAD, look at what's happening on USD CAD, and also look at what's happening on Euro USD. Why? Because the movements, how Euro USD and USD CAD behaves, is going to determine how Euro CAD behaves, right? So now the thing is, market makers can't move these three pairs at the same time. They can't move these three pairs at the same time because that's going to cause a problem. Now that problem is, let me show you what the problem is. Now the problem is you have euro here, you have euro here, and you have euro here, right? You have CAD here and you have CAD here. So now the question is, if euro USD is going to go up, if euro USD is going to go up, all right, that means USD CAD has to go down here. Sorry, let me delete this. So I'm just basically explaining this thing so that you guys can have a proper understanding of how to trade during the Asian session and why it works like that. So pay close attention. Right. So if your USD is going up, that means USD CAD has to go down, right? Why? Because this USD is the base of quotes, right? So this one is here, this one is here. So if this is going up, then this has to go the opposite direction because of the opposites in base and quotes. All right. So now, if your USD goes up, that means euro is going up and USD is going down. Right. That means USD here is going down and CAD is going up. So if USD CAD is going down, that means USD is going down and CAD is going up. If USD is going up, it means euro is going up and USD is going down. Right. So that's why this has to go opposite of this. So now that means what do we have from this movement? So that means we have euro going up. Euro is going up, and we have CAD going up. Yeah, so we have euro going up, and we have CAD going up. Why? Because euro USD is going up. So that means if euro USD is going up, that means euro is going up and USD is going down. And if that's the case, that means the USD on USD CAD is going to go down, and then this CAD means it's going up. So now we have established that we have euro going up and we have CAD going up. All right. So now as euro USD and USD CAD are moving opposites simultaneously, what's going to happen to euro CAD? Euro CAD has to go sideways. Yeah, has to go sideways because you can't have euro going up and CAD going up. You can't have the base and the quotes going up at the same time. One has to go up while the other one goes down, or this one goes down, and then this one goes up. That's how it works. So market makers can't move these three pairs at the same time. They have to hold one and move the other one. So they could hold EuroCAD. They'll hold EuroCAD sideways while they're moving Euro USD and USD CAD in opposite directions. Now, they could do the same for Euro USD in the sense that, sorry about that. Let me go back. I think I messed this up. Let me look for, where is this thing? Dang. Okay, so let me just continue the explanation from there. So basically, we've established that the three currency pairs can move together. So we have your USD card and giving you Euro card, right? So if Euro card is going sideways, that means they're moving USD card in one direction. It can be up or down, right? They're moving USD card and they're moving Euro USD. So now they can do the same thing for these two pairs here. So what they're going to do is, if they want to move Euro card, they could hold Euro USD sideways. This will go up, this will go up, or this will go down. This will follow it down. So basically, card is in charge, right? They could do the same thing here, where they're gonna hold USD card sideways, move this up, this will go up. Move this down, this will go down, right? And that's why you have correlation in the markets. This is the reason why you have currency correlation, right? At the moment, this is going to be going sideways. It's going to be going up, down, up, down, up, down. While this and this will be moving, right? So now we've established that market makers can move all the currency pairs at the same time, right? So now, why do you think that they usually consolidate during Asian session? They move during London session and move the New York session on currency pairs that have a London pair, a London session, or a London currency and a New York currency. So for example, we have something like GBP / USD, right? So we've established that this pair is going to move during London session and New York session. Why? Because we have a London pair here, sorry, a London currency here, which is GBP, and we have a New York currency here, which is USD. So the main active sessions for this currency would be London session and New York session, right? So now why doesn't it move during Asian session, right? So we have three sessions: Asian, London, and New York. What they do is we have other currency pairs like GBP JPY. You have something like GBP JPY. We also have GBP AUD, and we also have GBP NZD. Right, so we have these currency pairs here. Now, during London session and New York session. Now, for example, during London session, this pair, your GBP US is gonna move, or during New York session is gonna move. It's gonna move either London or New York, right? Now, these pairs here have only one London currency here, which is GBP, right? So the GBP is the London currency. So this could move during London session, right? Or it will move during London session. But we don't have any New York session currency in this. We have JPY, we have AUD, and we have NCD. Now, the thing is, that means the active session for these currency pairs would be London session and Asian session. These are the active times for these currency pairs, right? GBP JPY, GBP AUD, and GBP NZD. So it's gonna move during London session and it's gonna move during Asian session, right? So now we've established that fact. Now, here's the thing. Now that we know that market makers can't move all the currency pairs at the same time, they have to hold one in consolidation and move the other ones, right? They have to hold one in consolidation while they move the other one. So now let me show you an example of this in action. So let's say we have GBP, let's say we have GBP USD, we have AUD, or let me use the slash. You have GBP USD, and we have AUD / USD. What is this gonna give us? Remember what I told you at the beginning. You cross out the common figure there, common currency. It's gonna give you what? GBP / AUD. So this is the currency. So this is the cross pair that comes out of GBP USD and AUD USD. So now GBP AUD moves during London session and Asian session because of GBP moves during London and AUD moves during what's it called? Asian session. Right. But now we've established that they can't move these three pairs at the same time. Right. They have to hold one in consolidation while they move the other ones. Now, these two pairs here, AUD and AUD USD and GBP USD. GBP USD moves during London session and New York session, right? AUD USD moves during Asian session and US session. That's New York session. Now, if they want to move these two, most likely they're going to move it. If they're going to move these two together, most likely it's going to be during New York session because it's only the USD that makes these two correlate with each other. So if they're going to move these two accordingly, simultaneously, it's going to most likely be during the New York session. All right. So if the New York session happens, if GBP/USD is going down, AUD/USD has to go down. So if GBP/USD is going down and AUD/USD is going down, where do you think GBP/AUD will go? GBP/AUD will go sideways. So now we've established that, okay, if this is New York session, NY session, and the GBP/USD is moving, AUD/USD is moving, GBP/AUD is going to move sideways. So this is going to be sideways. All right. So now, if you want to move GBP/AUD at its most active sessions, which is London session and AUD and Asian session, what will be the most likely time to trade AUD and GBP/AUD? What would be the most likely time for GBP/AUD to move? They're gonna move it during Asian session. And if they're gonna move this during Asian session, we know that if they're gonna move this, one of these has to go sideways. One of them has to go sideways, right? They can't move the three at the same time. One of them have to go sideways. Remember that. One of them have to go sideways. Let me delete this so you can probably see this. So we've established that if GBP/USD is moving and AUD/USD is moving, this has to go sideways. So if they want to move this one, which is its active times, which is London session and Asian session, they have to hold one of these two pairs. Now, which is the most likely to hold during the next session, which is Asian session? They're going to hold GBP/USD sideways. And that's why you see that GBP/USD is going to move sideways during the Asian session. And that's going to be the Asian session consolidation for GBP/USD. While this AUD/USD and GBP/AUD is going to move during Asian session. So that's why if you look at these two pairs, you're going to notice that they don't usually consolidate during Asian session because that's the time that they are moving these two. And as they're moving these two, they're holding this one sideways. That's why you see pairs like GBP/USD, EUR/USD, USD CAD, which other pair is the NZD/USD? No, not NZD/USD. Those ones moved in Asian session. So basically, GBP/USD, EUR/USD, those London currencies, they're gonna move sideways during Asian session. Why? Because they need to move the AUD pairs and the NZD pairs and the JPY pairs. This works for AUD, works for JPY, and it works for NZD. So that's why you have GBP/USD going sideways during Asian session. Now, to dive deep into the how to trade the Asian session, what's gonna happen is you have to look at the currency pairs that move during Asian session. Now, the currencies that move during Asian session is AUD, NZD, and JPY. These are the currencies that move during Asian session. So if you're gonna trade Asian session, you have to trade currency pairs like GBP, AUD, GBP, NZD, GBP, JPY, and then the euros too. You have Euro AUD, you have Euro NZD, and you have Euro JPY. Also, we also have a AUD card. I have all this AUD card, AUD, CHF, AUD. You get the gist, right? So AUD pairs, NZD pairs, and JPY pairs. Now, if you go to those pairs, what you're going to notice is they moved in the Asian session. Now, how do you trade that during Asian session? What's the structure you're going to be looking for during Asian session? Now, we know that the main structure that I've told you guys that the market moves is like this. You're going to have Asian session, and during Asian session, price is going to consolidate, and then probably break to the upside, give you an information and drop back down, then any day in consolidation, something like that. This is the pattern I told you. And I told you that do not trade the Asian session because it's going to move sideways. All right. With what I've explained to you, you know the currency pairs that move during Asian session and the ones that doesn't move during Asian session. So if you're going to be expecting consolidation, you can look at the currency pairs that don't move during Asian session to expect this. Now, how does it play out in the pairs that move during Asian session that don't consolidate like that during Asian session? How do you find that structure? The structure is still there, just like it's hidden. It's in a different form. It's in a different timing, right? So we know that Asian session starts from how will I need to put this in EST. Asian session starts from 5 p.m. EST all the way to, I think, 1 p.m. Wait, let me check the time zone here. Change it to New York. I'm doing this so I can be very accurate with the timing here. Is it on New York? Yeah, so Asian session starts 5 p.m., which is 17 o'clock. So look for 17 o'clock down here. Asian session starts here at this line, right? Asian session starts at this line. So the line that separates one day from another is where Asian session starts, right? This is where your box is gonna start and it's gonna end. So we're at 2 a.m. EST. So I'm using EST so that you can easily convert the time to your time zone. So I'm doing it so that you can easily convert it to your time zone. So let me just change this back to my time zone. Where is that? Lagos. Yeah. So now, how is the structure there? What you're going to notice is price is going to consolidate. It's going to consolidate. So you're going to count the first 2 hours. Now, where is the first 2 hours? Let's see. The first 2 hours from this 17 o'clock here. Or is it 3 hours? Wait a minute. Let me check this timing. New York session. And let me change this. Yeah, so the first, how many hours is this? The first 3 hours, yeah. The first 3 hours is going to be significant when looking at this structure. So the first 3 hours is just going to take you from 17 o'clock EST, which is 5 p.m. EST. It's going to take you all the way to 20 o'clock EST, which is I think 10 or 9 or something like that. So here's what you're going to look at. All right. The first 3 hours inside the Asian session, for the currency pairs that move during the Asian session, the first 3 hours is going to be your consolidation. Right. So what you're going to notice is price is going to consolidate inside this area. Let me change this to red. So the first 3 hours is going to be your Asian session consolidation. Right, so the first 3 hours is going to be your Asian session consolidation. So what's going to happen is the market is going to open and it's going to consolidate a bit in here. It's going to be the first 3 hours. Let me write that first 3 hours. All right, so this is going to be your first 3 hours. Price is going to consolidate inside there. After the first 3 hours, price is going to make its move to either the upside or to the downside. In this example, it's going to make its move to the upside, right? So let me extend this box. So this is happening, all this is happening inside the Asian session, right? So price is going to make its move up, probably give you an M formation there, and it's going to reverse, and then that's going to bring you all the way to London session. So London session, you might have a pullback, and then you might continue down or something. All right. So this pattern happens inside the Asian session. If you're going to be waiting for a breakout like this during London session, you're not going to get that. Once in a while, you're going to get that, but most of the time, like 90% of the time, you're not going to get that. The setup is going to show up inside the Asian session box. So the main consolidation is here. The first 3 hours from the market open is the consolidation. The price is going to make its breakout. It's going to make its breakout all the way to the upside. Then price is going to form an M formation and then reverse from there. If it's a buy, it's gonna give you something like this and then go back up for a W formation, right? So this is what's gonna be happening there. If you go to the charts now and you look at this down here, what you're gonna notice is the same thing happened here. So the first 3 hours, which is from here to here, is the first 3 hours. That's why if you put this session indicator on, you're gonna notice that this is where the indicator is gonna start from. I just prefer to put mine from the starts here when I'm trading currency pairs like GBP USD and all those ones that I'm consolidating during Asian session. Right. So the main consolidation is gonna be this. This is gonna be the main consolidation here. Here like this. This is the main consolidation. You can see price then breaks to the upside, then breaks to the downside, gives you a W formation, then goes back up. Now let me show you guys a couple of examples of what I'm talking about, so you can clearly see what I'm explaining here. So now we have a very beautiful example here. Let me just grab my pen. Yeah, so we have a very beautiful consolidation here that happened from this line, the first 3 hours. You're gonna count the first 3 hours here, which is from here to here is the first 3 hours. You can see the consolidation that happened in there. What happened? Price broke to the downside to take out the stop losses, and then broke to the upside, took out the stop losses, and then made it move down. Right? It made it move down all the way down like this, and then went back up and then went into consolidation. So if you're looking for that pattern, if you're looking for this pattern, this is it right here. Consolidation, breaks to the upside, reverse, right? Although in this example, they didn't give a second leg. If they were gonna give a second leg here, this would have been London session coming in here. So they would have given you something like this, and then right at the open of London session, like 30 minutes into London session, or 50 minutes into London session, or 45 minutes into London session, just at the open of London session, the first 1 hour of London session, you're gonna have the second leg, and then it's gonna drop down. You're not gonna see any breakouts to the upside. They might just throw a wick above there as a second leg, and then they're gonna make them move back down. All right. Let me show you guys another example. Here we have 2 days in a row. So this was the example I showed you just now here. The day before that, we have the same thing. We have the Asian session consolidation that happened in here. We have these breakouts, and then we have an M formation in here, and then you can see price went all the way back down, came back for a retest to retest this zone, give you an information there again, then it continued back down, also came back for a retest somewhere in here too, but not to dive into that. If you go to the previous, if you zoom in, sorry, you're gonna see this, you're gonna see the box where I draw for the confirmation of the second leg. Price came to tap in it to give you a second leg here, enter anywhere inside this circle here, anywhere in here before this shift, before this candle comes and takes it everywhere. If you're entering here, then you don't know what you're doing. The stop loss is too big. You need to enter inside here before they shift the candle away from that area. Right. So if you enter in here, put your stop loss above, you're good to go. Here's another beautiful example. We have the Asian session consolidation in here. Price breaks to the upside, gives us an M formation here, drops back down, takes out the liquidity below these areas, and then gives you a W formation or a triple bottom here, goes back up just a little bit, and then just begins to go sideways, right? We have another example here. We have the consolidation that happened in here. This time they extended it just a little bit to like the middle of the session. So this went past the first 3 hours, went like this, broke to the downside, pulled back up, gave you the first leg. What happened? London session starts somewhere here. So this is where London session starts. London session, they come back to give you a second leg. Here on the London session, take the second leg. If you're waiting for a breakout here, you're not gonna get that. All right. You're not gonna get that. So this is the W formation there, because this is the main consolidation here. They broke to the downside, give you a W formation, enter right here, put your stop loss below, tight below here, catch this entire move for like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4. All right. Here's another example, but in this example, they didn't give a second leg. We have the Asian session consolidation here. We have the high of the previous day in here. They took out the liquidity above, took out the stop losses, made their move back down, and then basically used the rest of the sessions to consolidate. Right, they moved a little bit during London session here, but that was all. New York session, they didn't really move at all because there's no USD in this pair, so you don't expect much movement to happen during New York session. So the next day consolidates again, make their move. You can see they already started breaking out in here for the next day after the consolidation. On that beautiful example here, similar to that one we just looked at, we have consolidation here. Price breaks to the upside. If you go on a smaller time frame, like 5-minute time frame or 3-minute time frame, you're gonna see an M formation in here. Anytime you see 2 weeks pointing here, it basically means price went up there with the green candle, came back down, the candle closed. The next candle opened, went back up there, came back down. This is the candle. That's your information in there. But that's if you're looking at the lower time frames. Then this went all the way down. Coming into London session, they consolidated just a little bit here and then continued down and then ended in consolidation again. So these currency pairs that move during Asian session, this is their structure. This is what forms during their own session. So don't expect a breakout during London session. You're not going to get that. Right. So looking at this, we can see this consolidation in here. You can see they made the breakout there. Also broke to the downside, took out liquidity. They actually ended up consolidating for the whole day. After consolidating for the whole day, what did they do? We have the Asian session consolidation in here. They kind of spike up, spike down, made their breakout move to the downside, which is the false move. They want to go up, but they went to take out liquidity. At these lows, gave you a W formation right at the ending of London session. They also at the end of Asian session, they gave you a second leg here, but they came back for a third leg at the end of the session to stop on that area. Right. So they give you a third leg. The third leg ended up stop hunting that area. London session starts around here. Right. So if you are awake, you enter in here, put your stop loss below, you would have caught this entire move back up. So this is how to trade Asian session during Asian session. This is how to trade the structure during Asian session. If you guys found this video helpful, make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Also, feel free to join my free Telegram community. The link will be in the description below. And make sure you trade this pattern only on currency pairs that move during Asian session, which is the AUD, the NZD, and JPY. Don't go on USD pairs like GBP USD, Euro USD, and start looking for this. Don't do that. You're gonna mess yourself up. The only time you can look for this is the only currency pairs that has USD that you can look for this is on AUD USD and NZD USD. Right? Those are the only exceptions. Apart from that, don't look at any other USD pair. Oh, sorry, and USD JPY. Right. Apart from these three, don't look at any other currency pair that has a USD on it or card like GBP card or something like that. It has to have AUD, NZD, or JPY in those pairs in order to look for these patterns in there. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Peace.